third thing, under the third offenses, state offenses in Nigeria that you need to take note of is military offenses. Under the Armed Forces Act, members of the military can be sentenced to death for mutiny. 1. Gross insubordination. 2. Treachery. Acts of betrayal or helping enemy during wartime. You are at war. You're supposed to fight for your country, then you become a spy to the other country, or you help them during war. That's treachery. It's punishable by death under military offenses. And under military offenses, we have misconduct in action. What are the misconduct in action? You say you've had some people say he went on a war. You know, when you desert the army or you commit acts of dereliction of duty in the face of the enemy. Misconduct, it comes under misconduct in action, and it is punishable by death. So it's not just about you become a military officer. You need to know all the offenses that can land you into problem, and you death by hanging. We go to the fourth segment about laws offenses in Nigeria that can end you death by hanging. Rebellion under Sharia law. Rebellion under Sharia law. In the 12 northern states where Sharia penal codes apply alongside common law, rebellion and apostasy are recognized as capital offenses against religion and state authority. So that is why you see, when we talk about apostasy, when you say blasphemous things against the religion, or when you're rebellious, it's punishable by death in the 12 northern states where Sharia holds sway. So if you're living in any of these 12 northern states and you're Christian and you don't keep this law, you risk your life. The fact that you're in that jurisdiction, you have to obey the law in that jurisdiction, regardless of the fact that you're a Christian. So these are the offenses, state offenses in Nigeria that you, as a child of God, have to avoid to preserve your life. Now I want you to listen to the exemptions people have. In case you have anybody that has fallen under any of these offenses, and presently is in prison awaiting judgment. There are exemptions under the Nigerian law. Juvenile offenders, that means children that are between 17 and 18, under 17 and 18, they can be exempted. They can do a plea bargain for them because they're juveniles. Pregnant women too, they get exempted from death penalty. Their sentences are usually commuted to life imprisonment or detention at the president's pleasure. So that's why when you have a young child that committed a crime, you can go to the sitting governor to appeal for that child to be, his crime or our crime to be commuted to life imprisonment, or even appeal for that person to be released. A lot of people have enjoyed that. But why should you get yourself in that position in the first place? Why should you get yourself into such a position in the first place? That is what God is saying we should prevent. Praise the Lord. Now we go to the third part of the vigil. Avoiding state offenses. How do you avoid state offenses? There is something you need to know. That before a crime is committed, any of the things aforementioned, classified as state offenses, they come in stages. I want you to listen to me carefully, church. Before you commit anything, the first stages you go through, you have the intention. That was what God pointed out to Cain, that if his heart is right, he will not feel the way he was feeling. Genesis 4. Intention. That's why you have to guard your heart with all diligence. Make sure that your intentions are right at all times. That is the first, beat crime to it. Make sure that you don't fall into the first stages of crime. Before crime is committed, you have the intention. The second stage is you prepare for it. After having the intention, before you think about stabbing that woman, after thinking about it, you get the knife, won't you? For those who have committed crimes like that, they would get knife after thinking about stabbing their wife or their husband. I read in the newspaper last week about a woman who macheted her husband and the side cheek. She had the intention, she got the machete, and she did what she needed to do. The preparation stage leads you to the attempt. Listen, intention leads you to preparation. Preparation leads you to attempt. Attempt is when you intend to commit that thing, and peradventure you sail through or you don't sail through. Some people, due to circumstances, they're not able to complete the crime. But some people that complete the crime, they get to the fourth stage that we call commission. In law, commission means act of doing something wrong. That is the point of no reverse. That is the point where, when the deed is done, that is the point where law comes into play, and the person has to pay the price for the crimes committed. So, dear children of God, guard your intentions. In fact, when the evil mind comes that you should do anything, please, at the point of intention, pause and pray for yourself that the devil will not use you. And when it gets to the stage where the devil is telling you, prepare to do what you want to do, run before God. God, deliver me. God, deliver me. Tell God, just like I pray that I don't want the devil to perform his enterprise, I will not be a tool in the hands of the devil to perform evil enterprise. Then when the attempt is done, like some people, they're not able to pray, they would have done the first stabbing, they stop because they jolt back to reality. That is aborted attempt. At the point of aborted attempt, you still stand the chance of receiving mercy. But when you commission the act fully, like those who do not stab once, you stab 100 times and you want to plead for mercy? No, that has been done. That was intentional and it was carried out all the way. That people who will get to that stage are people who do not have God in them. Anyway, without overflogging that, I want us to look at how you can avoid state offenses. Avoiding the commission of a state offense requires having knowledge of legal duties. Well, when we talk about legal duties, now, there are three things under legal duties you need to know. And we call it legal distinctions. Commission, the act of doing something wrong. Omission, failure to do something that is legally required to do. And three, attempt, commencing to commit an offense, but failing to complete it due to intervention or other circumstances. The ways you can avoid crime, state offenses. Now, before you do anything, the commission, check yourself. What I want to do, is it right? Is it right? Always ask yourself, what I want to do, is it right? As a child of God, if you have not worked on your temperament or you're still believing God to help you with your anger issue, even before you do anything out of anger, ask yourself, what I want to do, is it right or wrong? That is commission, understanding legal distinctions. You might say you're not a lawyer, but you have the privilege of having a lawyer in the house and God sending this message to us. The second thing you need to know under legal distinction is omission. What I want to do, even though I have no intention to do evil, will it be classified as evil? Some people do things ignorantly. That is omission. They don't even know what they're doing is wrong, and they're picked for doing it. Just like so many content creators, I watch their content and I shake my head that Nigeria is really a good state. The freedom of speech is allowed to prevail, because in some countries there are things people say that they should be in jail and be charged for treason.